One of the most requested videos I do for this holiday special was on the topic of PT, but I already made a video on that a while ago and I feel like I got everything out of my system there. Though there is one mystery I can talk about, and that's the mystery behind Silent Hill 5. Not Homecoming, not PT, Silent Hill 5, made by Team Silent. Did it exist? Well, let's dive a little deeper. See, after Silent Hill 4's lackluster release and lukewarm reception, there was a long period of time where Team Silent, the creators of Silent Hill, stayed, well, silent. Quietly, the team disbanded and eventually went on to work on other titles such as Siren. Afterwards, Konami hired Western companies to make the rest of the Silent Hill games, and well, we all know where that turned out. It wasn't the greatest time to be a Silent Hill fan, as many of them wanted to see Team Silent return and work on a new Silent Hill game, though honestly, it's hard to say what exactly happened to Team Silent. Depending on who you ask, you'll always get a different answer. The most common theory was that they were so disappointed in Silent Hill 4 that Team Silent decided to quit, though there are some hints from interviews with different game journalists that prove this might not be the case. Masashi Tsubuyama, director of Silent Hill 2 and one of the key members of Team Silent, had an interview with Eurogamer where he expressed his confusion as to why there was a rumor going around that the next Silent Hill game was being called Silent Hill Shadows, following that up by flat out saying that they were working on the latest Silent Hill game. He stated that it was being developed for the PS3 and the Xbox 360, then only known as the Xbox 2. This interview clears up the misconception that Team Silent just gave up after Silent Hill 4, and that they were already planning the future of Silent Hill. Even a week after this, there was an interview with Akira Yamaoka, the sound designer and composer of the Silent Hill franchise, as well as Masashi Tsubuyama, where they were asked if the Silent Hill 4 style was going to be the norm for upcoming Silent Hill games, in which Tsubuyama replied with, quote, "No, we won't be keeping this trend for the following sequels," unquote. Or this quote. Man, I feel like a fucking dweeb saying that. Continuing this trend of interviews, we start to get a clearer picture of what exactly Silent Hill 5 was going to be. For example, when asked what the original scenario was for Silent Hill 3, Yamaoka stated that they couldn't talk about it because it was an idea they were going to use for the next Silent Hill game, and he hinted that it might not even be called Silent Hill 5, with Akihiro Inamura, programmer of the Silent Hill games, in the same interview stating that there was this concept of light and darkness that he was interested in developing. Inamura further elaborated by talking about how normalcy rotting around you can be a scary idea. Just as how Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Jacob's Ladder had done, Inamura was interested in making a bright and normal sunny day into a frightening experience, just as dark and dreary nights can be scary. 2 years after this interview, and it seemed like they were still working on this idea that Inamura was interested in, as Yamaoka continued to hit on the idea of fearing daylight as much as you would fear darkness. He was even working on the music at this point in 2006. It was around this time that Silent Hill Origins had been announced earlier at E3 2006. Climax Studios, the guys working on Origins, talked about how the game was somewhat in collaboration with Team Silent, but stated that Team Silent was too busy on their own project to help out Climax Studios. During this time frame, there wasn't much coming out of Team Silent or Konami about Silent Hill 5, so I mean, keep in mind that the only hints at Silent Hill 5 had always come through interviews and such, but never official announcements or trailers or even teasers. It was just that one thing Team Silent was supposedly working on. Rumors started to spread after a lack of communication with the fans, and Tsubuyama said less about the game than previously, essentially saying that it'll be ready when it's ready. Finally, it was over. Team Silent was disbanded and Konami hired Western devs to create the new Silent Hill games. And before you start raising your pitchforks and start talking mad shit about how American developers ruined the franchise forever, let me tell you about Kenzie Lamar, a concept artist who worked for Double Helix, the guys who made Silent Hill Homecoming. He revealed to everyone on several outlets, mostly ones where his art was featured, that Konami was actually at fault for where the franchise ended up. According to Lamar, Konami was actually losing faith in the series for quite a few years now. And if that were the case, then personally, I would say that Silent Hill 4's poor performance sales-wise was the perfect opportunity for Konami to take control out of Team Silent's hands. This could have been what happened, as Lamar himself said that Silent Hill 5 wasn't even being developed by Team Silent. Konami apparently didn't like the Silent Hill franchise, but did recognize that it was doing way better overseas than it was in Japan. So to further appease the Western audience, Konami wanted to rework the entire franchise to be completely different and more American. This is why Double Helix did a poor job with Homecoming, as it wasn't their decision to make Silent Hill Western as fuck, less psychological, and resemble the movie, which did pretty well in America, I may add. It was the decision of Konami. When Double Helix and Climax Studios finished their projects, Konami was actually very happy with the results. In the end, you might think Konami killed the franchise when PT was cancelled, but in reality, it was doomed ever since Silent Hill 4, and that's just how it is. That's a bummer. Sorry about that.